should be live.
What's up, everybody? We're just refreshing our pages. Welcome to the show. We've got a special one for you today. This is about how to nail New Year's resolutions. And we're very lucky because we have with me I'm just opening the page because I think we're going live to YouTube as well, aren't we, Rich? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, here we are.
YouTube and
Look at
Movement
this.
Mastermind Group.
Yeah, we are away. Okay, I'm just getting everything opened up and then we'll get started. About how mute that. All right, as I was saying, if we haven't met, my name's Yanni Burmeister, and below me on the screen is our customer support and coaching manager. We like to call him our community or tribe manager, Will Purcell. I think we should change your title to tribe manager, manager of the tribe.
That is the tribe.
And Will's primary job is to make the experience for every tribe member, despite what coaching program or level you're at, the best possible experience. And part of the way he does that is he helps people unpack their vision, their own personal vision, their goals, where they see themselves in the next 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and all of that. Now, we do have Richie, the voice of God, in the background running the show as well. Yeah, this is the final show for 2021. Can you believe we made it here? I sort of feel like personally for me, 2021 was a year of surviving, not thriving.
Absolutely.
It was certainly a challenging year, but and I'm sure some people can relate to that. But today we're going to talk about how to make 2022 a year of thriving, how to nail the goals that we may have fallen short on this year, or just new goals altogether. And heck, you might have just absolutely crushed 2021. I know a lot of our tribe did. A lot of our tribe did really exceptionally well, despite all of the calamity and the natural vicissitudes of life throughout the last 12 months and the last 24 months, really, if you consider 2020. So yesterday I sent out an email about, just stopping for a moment and thinking about why most New Year's resolutions fail. While most New Year's resolutions, especially to lose weight or to get in shape, but it doesn't have to necessarily be related to health. It could be wanting to quit something, wanting to stop drinking, wanting to stop smoking. That was a New Year's resolution for me in 2004. I, believe it or not, used to smoke cigarettes when I was a mechanical engineer before I was a personal trainer in another life. And I made that a New Year's resolution for myself and just cold turkey the next day, never touched a cigarette again. And I haven't touched a cigarette in 20 years or 17 years and have no intention of doing so. But unfortunately, the vast majority of people that set New Year's resolutions aren't as successful as that, and they tend to fall short. And I reflect on that a lot, and I've done a lot of research on that. And thanks to a plethora of modern research, we do know exactly why most New Year's resolutions fail. They fail because they fail to strategize correctly. There are three key elements to a successful goal or New Year's resolution. We're going to call it New Year's resolution because that's what everyone's going to relate to now, but it doesn't have to be at the new year. But I'm also going to talk about why, again, we did cover that yesterday. It is actually quite powerful to do it at New Year's. The three things that they need is that the goal must have a carefully constructed strategy. And we're going to dive deep into that today because that's part of Will's role here at Unity Gym, is when the time's right to help people, guide people through that process. And it's actually quite simple and easy once you know how to do it. And we have a system in place to help people with that. But also the goal must be prioritized. It must be able to be prioritized above almost everything else. Of course, there's always going to be a few things that are priority above your goal. If you've got children, they tend to be priority. Making money, your income tends to be priority. But sometimes if you do it properly, if you do the goal strategy properly, you can drill down enough on your goal and make it and elevate it up that priority list. And that's a very important step, because if you can't do that, then chances are everything else is going to pile on top of the priority list ahead of it, and it's going to fall by the wayside in a month or two's time after you start it. And finally, the final third point about what a successful New Year's resolution needs is that you have to then deploy a support element, whether it's a program, whether it's a strategy, whether it's a blueprint, whatever it is. You have to have a system that is guaranteed to be a success, meaning that it's been replicated time and time before you by other people successfully, and it needs to be swipe and deploy. By that, what I mean is it needs to be a done for you system that you can just use, so that all you have to do is turn up and focus on doing the work. If you're sitting there questioning day by day whether it's going to work, and if you have any doubt whatsoever in your mind, then chances are you'll find a reason not to follow through with it. It has to be, by that stage of getting yourself started, you just have to trust 100% in the process and just deploy it, and it has to be easy. And so when you combine those three things, the goal strategy, the burning desire, why the goal is really important, and a system to achieve the goal that's been proven to work time and time again before you, the New Year's resolution will be achieved. That's exactly how I quit smoking all those years ago. It's exactly how I start every year, with a new set of goals, a new set of things that I want to achieve, and it works exceptionally well. So without further ado, what we will do, and I wonder whether Richard can pull this up in the window there, the goal strategy worksheet. Is that something that you can bring up, Richard? I shared a PDF in the management channel, and if we can do that, Will's going to unpack it, and I don't know whether you guys will be able to see it very well, but you could potentially even just overlay it over the entire window there, Richie, so that you get the whole A4 sheet on the page. I don't know whether you can do that. I don't know how it works. So we've got it there, and we'll just read it quickly. Will, if you want to just read through the entire thing once first, and then we'll unpack and unpack it step by step. It's a simple 3-step process.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been talking a lot lately about how important it is to go hard or go home right at the start and make sure that we're really committing, but that it requires a bit of prior planning leading up to that. So whether we're starting on the 1st, the 2nd, or the 3rd, or whenever your start date is for your New Year's resolutions, make sure you go hard on that day. But we've really got to plan prior to that. So our action steps might not be undertaken to that first day, but our planning is done beforehand. And as you can see, just on the first one, if you can see the first point on the screen, is to define your 12-month goal. And we certainly want to go hard or go home, our BHAG, our big, hairy, audacious goal. And we want to set that 12-month goal to make sure that we've got something to work towards that isn't just something small that kind of could be done or flakes through. We want something that we have to commit to. You can see there in step 2, we want to link our goal to our burning desire. And I think Jan is going to unpack that one a little bit more. But simply put, the 5 whys exercise. If you can't ask yourself, wow, if you have that goal, ask yourself why 5 times. And it's generally around that 4th, 5th, or maybe even 6th time you ask why. That's the reason. I used to always, get people coming in saying, oh, I want to lose weight. And it's because I want to be healthier and fitter and all around. My doctor told me I had to do it. Well, that's just common sense, but that's not really your burning desire. And then the last point, of course, is down the bottom is what is your first achievement, your first milestone that you can achieve within 28 days? Setting a 12-month goal is great to do, and it takes motivation. And motivation is ripe in that first 28 days, the next month, the month after that. And it's discipline that will keep you going. But discipline alone is rough to keep running off. So what can we identify what can be those first and second and third milestones, or that first one, the first 28 days, that will help you feel like that you've really had um, a goal to achieve or a sense of accomplishment, and help to keep that motivation fire burning. Back to
Yeah,
you,
that's
Jan.
exactly right. That's exactly right. The step three, believe it or not, like we always say, people say, oh wow, I haven't thought about a 12-month goal. I just want to, and I do like to say, think long term. With our business, we project out 5 and 10 years ahead. And with my training, I sort of do 12 months and up, even up to 36 months. But initially, we really like to get you thinking just 12 months ahead. Where do you see yourself in 12 months? Because in 12 months, you can achieve a radical transformation if you're consistent. But we always say, if you shoot for the stars, if you fall short, you'll probably still hit the moon. Uh, what what's really, really important though is that you break that goal down into tangible bite-sized pieces. And all we want to focus on is the first milestone, the first win that you can achieve in 28 days. To do so, it must be absolutely tangible. It must be something that you can definitely measure. And it must be a guarantee that you achieve it in the first 28 days. Even the first 3 weeks is good, 21 days. Because
Mm,
what happens is that ignites your motivation. If you don't achieve something noteworthy in the first 28 days, the chances of continuing on your journey diminish. And every month after that, it diminishes even more. So you're lucky to make it 2 or 3 months without achieving something noteworthy. But most people, if they don't achieve something noteworthy in the first 28 days, their likelihood of following through with their New Year's resolution is very, very small. So although all three of these steps are really important, step number three is probably the most important, and that's generally something that you need a good coach who's got a lot of experience to help you unpack. Because if you set something that's too difficult to achieve, it's going to be demotivating. And if you set something that's not noteworthy enough, it's not going to be motivating enough. So it's really, really important that you guys that you get a little bit of help. Now, what we have figured out over the 20 odd years, 2 decades we've been coaching people, is that the most tangible, easiest goal to get someone to achieve is a weight loss goal. Because if you follow the script, if you follow the nutrition intervention and you reduce daily calories, however you do it, whether it's through eliminating macronutrients you don't think you need, or whether it's through total calorie intake reduction, whether it's through time restricted eating, intermittent fasting, all these different great interventions that you can sort of swipe and deploy, you will lose weight. And if you combine that with the right exercise, if you combine it with lifting weights, so resistance training exercise to mitigate the amount of muscle mass that your body loses, and upregulate your metabolic function. The more muscle you've got, the higher your metabolic rate will be. And you combine it sort of 50-50, so caloric restriction with exercise intervention, you're guaranteed to get a result. It's very, very seldom that you'll have something that gets in the way of that result. So we like to encourage people for that first 28 days to do a weight loss goal. Set a weight loss goal of 10 pounds or something like that. The more weight you've got to lose, the more weight you'll usually be able to lose in that first 28 days. So it's kind of a little bit specific, but we're pretty confident that most people can lose 10 pounds in 28 days if they do the work and they follow the system. And so that's the generally where we like to get people started in our 28-day Kickstart. It is designed as a weight loss program, and it is really, really rewarding to do. If you do that, let's dive in before we go ahead as to why I really like doing it around New Year's Eve. Let's dive into why point two is so important, because it's a point that is often overlooked. Just give me a sec. Guys.
mm.
Sorry, guys, I've got my children here because they're on vacation and mum's sick with COVID, so they're not able to hang out with her. Step number two, link to a burning desire. Now, this exercise came from, believe it or not, it came from Toyota originally, and it was created by the Toyota chief operating officer to establish problems or faults in the production line. And rather than just fix the end result, the defect in the motor vehicle, they wanted to drill down on why the defect occurred in the first place. And so what they did was, every time there was a problem, a door didn't fit quite perfectly when they closed it or something like that, they would go to the person who had designed that part and just drill down. Why did that occur? Okay, why did that occur? Okay, why did that occur? And at the end, they knew that they'd reached the bottom when it came down to human error. It might be, the lathe that cut the steel didn't cut it to the parameters that it needed to be. Okay, why did that happen? Well, the program that ran the lathe was slightly out by a few degrees. Okay, why did that happen? Well, the software that we made for that program wasn't coded properly. Okay, why did that happen? Well, the coder made a mistake coding the software. Okay, so that person needs to fix his code. So the way we deploy this great strategy in our health and fitness goals is that we can drill down on why a goal is really, really important. And how we know that we've drilled down far enough is that it comes down to one of three things every single time. It's deeply rooted to social psychology. It's either to seek pleasure and avoid pain. And these are the reasons. This is something that psychologists have studied for decades and decades and decades. Why do humans do things? Why do humans strive to achieve certain things? Why do humans set goals in the first place? It's either to seek pleasure or avoid pain, to seek hope and avoid fear, or to seek social acceptance and avoid rejection. We are herd mammals, and for us to be accepted socially within our herd, and it's becoming easier and easier since the advent of the internet, we have these micro social structures and constructs. So it's becoming easier and easier and easier to find our herd. But wherever we end up, whether we're a goth or a rocker or a techno buff or a nerd or an athlete or whatever we choose to do, an entrepreneur, we always seek social acceptance and try to avoid rejection among our herd. And that often becomes something that you can attach your goal to. One of those three is usually always it. I mean, to seek pleasure and avoid pain is a very common one too, because we may be starting to exercise because we experience back pain or we've injured ourselves in the past and we want to fix that issue in the body. So you could drill down and find that that's where you end up. A lot of the time, if it's about losing weight, it's about social acceptance, and it's about appealing to the to your herd or whatever. So despite what you might think, setting goals is really important, but to set a goal and not to create a strategy for it is usually pretty useless. You usually don't get a very good result from that. To set a goal and create a strategy for it, to unpack it, to follow those three steps is immensely powerful. But then the last thing that you need to do, and this has been proven in some very great research in the Dominican Republic University. I'm trying to remember the scientist's name. It eludes me at the moment. I've written this down so many times to remember it. It's quite disappointing. But what she found was that the final step to achieving a goal is that you need accountability. And the way that they did that was that they assigned accountability buddy that you were in communication with regularly. The way we do that at Unity Gym is we have these Facebook groups that are our support groups, and we have a specific one for each different program. So everyone in there is working on the same type of goals. If you're in the 28-day Kickstart, you're in the 28-day Kickstart program. If you're in the Peak Performance program, you're in the Peak Performance group. And if you're in the 12-month transformation program, then you're in the 12-month transformation group. And that creates this immensely powerful social, psychological, herd mentality, support network of accountability. And then we're in there daily helping answer your questions and give you coaching, feedback, support, and motivation. But just being in this group, the Movement Mastermind, you could leverage the same thing. And the reason why we love New Year's resolutions so much is that the whole world does it at the same time. You know, there is a huge portion of the world's population that is accepting of us setting big, hairy, audacious goals on the 1st of January every year. And that in and of itself is a very powerful herd mentality asset that you can deploy to help you achieve your goal, to help you now your New Year's resolution. And that's why I think it's really, really important that you do that, that you set some goals, unpack it in the way that we've done it here, showed you how to do it. If you need any help with that, you are welcome to book a support call or a coaching call with Will, and he can walk you through that process and give you access to our worksheet if you want. You don't have to pay for it. We'll give it to you for free. We just want everyone to get clear on their goals. And and then get a system, get a program that is guaranteed to work. If you want performance, if you want to level up and smash PRs, then our 12-week peak performance program is certainly for you. If you want to lose some weight and just ignite your motivation to get you started in the best way possible, our 28-day Kickstart program is definitely for you. And if you're ready to really, really dive into your goals in 2022 and achieve something outstanding, then consider our 12-month transformation program. Otherwise, whoever you choose to employ as a coach or use as a support network, just make sure that it's a proven system that you can swipe and deploy, so you're not second guessing yourself, so you're not questioning the process. All you've got to do is turn up and do the work, and watch what happens.
That's bang on the money right there. And sometimes as well, the last point, the creating that first milestone, it's not as easy as it sounds sometimes. For people who want to lose a little bit of body fat, it can be a little bit easier. But if you're someone who's been training for a little bit while, you might even need a little bit of help unpacking that goal or identifying a milestone. That's something I can help with as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, Tribe. Well, look, we've got to jump into our 28-day Kickstart group now and give them their daily dose of motivation. And then we're going to jump into our 12-month transformation group and do the same for these guys. So this is our final daily Q&A, daily coaching show for the year. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you and you and you and everyone out there.
You get a new year. You get a new year.
You get a new year. Thanks, Richie. Thank you, Will. And we'll all see you next year.
Thanks, Yanni. Thanks, guys.